Hello, welcome back to Final Fantasy VIII Remastered walkthrough. In the last part, we did the Galbadian prison. I don't really like that section at all, so I just didn't do any commentary for it. But key things to pull out of that is just to kind of get that battle meter that will kind of add to the battle report thing that you got from Sid. There was nothing else in there, no rare cards, anything like that. It was a one-time location, so anything you didn't pick up in there, any treasures you might have missed, is gone for good. But none of that stuff was like super imperative to get. But for the missile base, this place is pretty easy. You can make mistakes in here though, so just kind of follow along with what I'm going to do here. Unless you want to absolutely cause chaos, you can, you know, kind of begin fights in here, and then the entire area will be alerted to your presence. This, however, will lower your seed ranking if you don't do it properly. So we're going to do the proper method, and then by the time you reach the end boss, everything should work out pretty fine when we switch over to Squall's party. So right now we have selfie is absolutely mandatory for this part, and then you could select between anyone before this, but I chose to have Irvine and Questus in the party because with Squall going back to Ball in the Garden, if you take Zell and Renoa, Zell will help you get a missable item in the library from the girl with the pigtail, and then Renoa actually has a missable cutscene, so if you don't take Renoa with Squall to Balam Garden, then you'll miss out on that. And we'll point that out when we actually get there, but right now let's just focus on the missile base. Things that you can do to set up here is to, you know, make sure that you're obviously junctioned and equipped with the GFs that you want. Take some time here doing this stuff. Alright, so there we go. And just check your GFs again and make sure that they're learning their abilities that you want them to. So there is kind of like a mini boss, and then there's a boss that is in this section. The mini boss is going to be just a bunch of troops at the end of it. And for that battle, I mean, you can kind of set up your GFs in any way that you want. AP is very minimal here, so it's not like going to be a tremendous boost or anything. So I'd probably learn just something real basic. We'll keep Mug going. You are going to want to start learning Mug with Diablos. You can learn it in Disc 1 if you want. But nothing's really been Mug worthy up to this point, but after some events, after Balam Garden, a lot of the boss enemies will have some pretty interesting things that you might want to Mug off of them. And the way that Mug works in the game is that if you end up mugging items from enemies, regular monsters, or bosses, they will not drop like the item that they already come with. So look up a guide, or I'll just point it out as we get there to see like what's the most valuable stuff to mug. But up to this point, it hasn't been anything good. So everything that drops regularly is stuff that I would take right now. And then if you don't want those encounters, you know, you can work on encounter none or encounter half. And then just keep Carbuncle learning whatever you can. Recovery medicine is actually pretty good to learn for this stage of the game. There's a lot of tricks you can do with that too to gain like infinite gil. I'll point that stuff out once we get there. Alright, so set your party up in a way where you have all the good junctions. The upcoming boss is weak to thunder magic, so equip elemental attacks to thunder. If you have it, it'll just help you do more damage. And then, at least for one of your characters, if you have the status attack junction, I would suggest putting on blind, because the next boss is susceptible to blind. and this will help you out tremendously, especially if you're at low levels or you don't have the kind of HP that I'm showing right now, using the tents and all that kind of stuff for the refinements. So from here, we're gonna head to this little glowing light. Our vine will give us a key card. And then this is where your options start beginning. So if you want to cause havoc now, you're going to select the opposite reactions than what I'm about to do. But if you're going to do this section right and you care about your seed rank, then we're going to do it the way I'm going to show now. So just here, just walk by quietly is the correct answer. And it'll automatically, you don't have to hold circle here because it's automatically going to put you to a walk. So just walk past the guard. So the guard will make a comment, and you know that you did that section good. So from here, just run. Another save point. And there's just a lot of backtracking in this section, so pretty simple to be honest. If you go down one from that room, you'll hit this like hidden maintenance area. I don't believe Irvine has. We don't need to blind on everybody. Yeah, so come toward the maintenance room and talk to the guards. This will advance the plot line here. So I'll head back to that maintenance room that we passed by earlier. In here will be a hidden draw point for the full life. You can reveal that with the move find, but it's just right in front of this 04 and 03 missile launcher. And then, you know, just give it to whoever you want, obviously. And then talk to this soldier. Correct option is that top one to go on ahead. Alright, good. So far everything's working out pretty well. And then for your junctions, just make sure that so the experience gain is going to be very minimal unless you're really close to a level up. You can switch these bonuses over to something that you might need that's more better for you, or if you just don't care about using the bonuses at all. But at the very least, make sure that everyone has draw. And then if you are going to use your Guardian Force here, Quetzalcoatl's really good for the boss, since it's weak to Thunder Magic. Then now we're going to go up here and head back to that first room that we passed, talk to the guard. And then in here will be a Blizzaga, or Blizzara. Draw point. Obviously we don't need it because I think everyone should have 100 at this point. It doesn't matter what option you pick here, so just hit, I always just select all, just hit whatever. And then from here I put bang on it hard. And then just do exactly what the button prompts tell you to do. Alright, so from here you can, this is like your third, fourth opportunity to start havoc inside the base. Just try to talk your way out of this. And then if you choose we just got here, they will actually attack you and call you a liar and all that kind of stuff. So the real option is we were just about to call on you. And the party will have dealt with those guards. Then from here, enter the missile area. Don't choose any other option here except for play it cool if you're going to do it the right way. Then help them out. And then this will be another button mashing mini game. You can check to see if the drop point reset. Probably hasn't. ×3 helps out a lot here too, because otherwise this would be a really slow thing like that. And talk to this soldier to continue. Head over to this control panel. Alright, so we want to start to set the target. And then it will not let you allow you to set the target because you don't have the credentials to do that. But you can set the error ratio, which is what we're here to do. And you want to set this to max. And make sure you data upload this. ×3 just makes this a lot better of an experience. And then the rest of the options you can just kind of see here. It'll give you a brief rundown of what kind of equipment they have. Nothing really that important to look at. And then if you look at the simulation, it'll just show where it's going to hit. So as long as you set the error ratio to max, then you go ahead and exit out of this. Give it one more good save, because then we're going to get into the first little mini boss thing here, which is just a bunch of guards. this will be your last opportunity to put anything in before this battle. So with the soldiers, in this battle, this will be our first introduction to the Confuse status effect, and Confuse is honestly really annoying. If you're not resistant to it, your party members actually have a chance to use anything in your inventory. So depending on how you set them up with their commands, if anyone in your party has the command item, they have a high chance of using like elixirs and that kind of stuff. Just don't put item in at this moment. Anything else though, you know, like if they have magic, they'll kind of expend their magic and stuff like that. So it's just kind of a whatever you're okay with losing. But these guys are vulnerable to silence. So if you want to silence the enemy, and silence will remain until it's cured, which they usually don't do for each other, it'll just help you out. And make sure that you have magic slots. So you'll see that I'm like stocked full with Questus now. So I'm going to have to start thinking about getting rid of some of these magics. And for me, let's see. I would just get rid of scans. They're not really that imperative here. Honestly, I probably won't even keep them anymore because I just don't use them. Knowing what everything's weaknesses in this game anyway. And you want at least one slot open. More if you can. But there's only one specific magic here that we do want to stock up on if we are able to. Silence. That's only Questus will have it. So we got caught because of a salute with that. Alright, so most important in this battle is to try to silence the soldier in red first. We can get rid of one of the base soldiers. So he's going to continuously cast remedies on himself whenever he's silenced. Ideally, you want to keep one of the blue guys, but they were just being too spammy with it. And then from here, try to stock up on some confuses, slow him, do whatever you can, really. Yeah, so he was trying to cast Confuse on us right there, so just want to try to keep him from doing that, so you don't want to lose anything. Yeah, so the most important thing that we wanted to take out of that battle was to get everybody to 100 confuses there. Now, you don't have to do this. Every single time I do this, you don't have to do this stuff. I just think it's a lot easier in the remastered versions and all that stuff because you have the ×3 option, and it doesn't make drawing nearly as much of a drag as it is without it. So with all that, now you have a very powerful magic in Confuse, which honestly really does do a lot of good for the enemies. A lot of things are susceptible to Confuse magic, but it's really good to put into your status defense or your status attack. Especially with Squall, because you'll always hit no matter what. It's good to be protected against Confuse, because we're going to need that for a much later section of the game too, so it's better to stock up on it now, since coming through it, the only way you can get it right now is through refinement, and then that's like the only battle that I know of at this stage of the game that gives you that for the first time. So just stay on top of silencing him when he cures it, and then try to keep him alive. Slow him. Slow doesn't last forever in a battle either, so it'll wear off, so just recast it, and you know, you'll do your best. And then you can easily replace your silences too with the status magic. You just get some echo screens here, and then boom, pluses it back to 100. So, and those only cost you 100 gil each, so those are very easy to replace. So then with all that, heal up as necessary. And then just make sure you have an open magic slot here, because the next boss has the stop magic. Stop is exactly what it does. It just stops the enemy. If you're able to, it's kind of an instant KO. So if you're able to stop all enemies in the fight, then it'll count it pretty much like break. and you won't end up getting any kind of experience or anything, but you will, you know, beat the monsters. I typically don't like stop. A lot of things are kind of resistant to it. Stop is okay to put on your defense in case an enemy casts it on you, because if you have a full team that's stopped, then that's a game over. But other than that, stop is actually really easy to make as well. I think if you just go into the time magic refine, and all it takes is just for wizard stones. So a little bit more rare of an item to see at this stage of the game, but you're going to get plenty of wizard stones in the future, and you can make stops out of a lot of different items. But this is the one boss that does come with it, so I do want to stock up at least 100 for one character. And then we're going to be prompted to set a time limit here. So depending on your level and how well you think you're set up, you can choose the 10-minute timer, which will give you like better overall seed ranking for doing this. 20 minutes is kind of like the middle ground where you're safe enough to do it, but 10 minutes is plenty of time as long as you're equipped properly. So come over here to this panel, and then set the time. I always set it for 10. And then just like the cave, it's not going to stop. So anytime you're in the menu, that thing's not going to stop. So that's why I said at the beginning, set up like I did, and you'll be fine just for the boss. So with the 10 and 20 minute timer, you actually can go to this door on the right with the little green overhead. If you chose the 30 or 40, you're going to have to run through the entire base and get back the way that you came in from that way. So 10 to 20 minute timer will land you right back here. You can take this door. And then the save point did disappear. Move find will not bring it back. So that was your one last opportunity to do anything with that save point back at the missile control. So if you mess up here, you have to restart all the way back over there. And speed through the dialogue so you're not losing time here. So this thing is susceptible to blind magic. Just try to stick blind on this thing, and it'll miss the majority of its attacks. So just enough draws to get at least 100 stops for one or two characters. And then this thing is weak to thunder. So just smack away at it. Don't take too much time because the countdown's still there, and we'll have like another minor enemy show up. A very simple boss if you're set up correctly. Will obtain the weapons monthly June, so just keep that in mind. You'll have to read that. There will be the new weapons we can make. And that'll conclude the missile-based section of the game. So I'll just let the cutscenes play out and then rejoin when we move on to the next part. Oh boy. Everyone got blowed up. Alright, so now we're back at the garden. And in here, there's going to be a lot of battling is going to be happening here. So if you don't want the experience, make sure that you have card or at least petrification magic so that you don't gain experience, because you are going to be forced into a lot of battles that do delve out experience here. You want to pull your junctions. And then we're just going to, I'll play with magic in the next one. We'll get those reduced. So a lot of the things you want to keep are probably mid-tier magic. Any of the level 1 magics or any useless magics, probably not anymore. Then once you're equipped, check your GS because they learn some abilities maybe. So the garden is in chaos now. So if you play around with the answers here, if you say you don't get it, you're going to be flung into a battle. If you disagree with this, you can actually skip some of these battles, but I think it affects your seed rank if you don't have loyalty towards Headmaster Sid. So for me, I'm just going to say I don't get it. It'll be basic monsters. So with a bunch of various monsters coming up in this section, I would probably take off your elemental attacks. Because some of them will absorb. And then for Squall, you won't have any undead enemies in this area, so you can put the drain back on. Continue forward. Stuck to Fujin and Raging. Alright, so for this part, we're going to have to go into a giant circle around the garden, and we're looking for Headmaster Sid right now. So you'll have to go to every single area, fight some monsters, and the plotline will continue. So that was the Galbadian Missile Base and the intro to the Chaos in the Garden. So I'll thank you guys for watching. I'll see you guys in the next episode.